Hey everybody, I just wanted to jump on here this morning and just share something with you. I am taking one of my granddaughters to church this morning. As I was getting ready, I was thinking about it's been a while since I've been able to take her. But the great part about, as I was thinking about, having the blessed opportunity to take her to church is that she wants to go, that she loves going to church. And not just because she loves going to church, but because she has a relationship with the Lord and she loves the Lord. And as I was thinking about that, I was thinking about how many of us, when I know for me, when I was growing up, it wasn't so much that I went to church because I loved the Lord. It wasn't like that. I went because my parents took me, or my grandmother took me, or I went with, relatives. But it wasn't so much because I had a relationship with the Lord. And that as a grandmother, and being in a position to be able to share the Lord and to expose her to that the relationship that she has with the Father is hers. It's not just her, being taken to church. She has a relationship with the Lord. And as I was thinking about that, I was thinking about the fact that we all have to have a relationship with the Father, that God doesn't have grandkids. We have them, but He doesn't. We are either a child of God or we're not. And we either view Him as our Father or not. And so I just wanted to just admonish you this morning that none of us are going to enter the kingdom because of our grandparents or our parents or somebody else's relationship with the Father. It has to be an individual choice. And He's so good. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't we want to have that relationship with Him? There are so many deceptions. There are so many things happening in the world right now. And if we're not careful, we will be deceived, we'll be distracted, all kinds of things will happen in life that will cause us to drift away. And right now, you may be struggling with something that has happened. You may be struggling with an offense or unforgiveness or bitterness or something that has happened. You may have even done some things that were hurtful to other people. And maybe you walk with the Lord at one point and you're not doing it anymore because of shame and guilt, because that's what the enemy uses. Once he draws you out and he brings you into a place where you were at one point serving the Lord, but now you've fallen into things like the prodigal son. Maybe that was you, or maybe that is you. And now guilt and shame have you in a place where you don't feel like there's any coming back. Well, I want to tell you, it is. Because like the prodigal son, when he came to himself and realized where he was and what he had left, and how if he went back to the Father, he would just be satisfied as a servant in the Father's house. But on his way back, he didn't know the Father was already anticipating his return. Not to reprimand him, not to tell him, oh, you foolish and all of that. No, just the opposite. The Father was anticipating his son's return. That says something about the Father and what He knows about you. He knows that at the root of whatever it is that caused you to want to go out there in the first place, that there was something deeper, and that once you came to yourself, that you would come back to Him. Daddy does not have grandkids. He has kids that He knows. He knows you so well. He has numbered the hairs on your head, and He knows each one of them by name. He knows the day that they came up, the ones that was lost. He knows everything about you. So there's nothing hidden from the Father. And he's saying to you right now, come on back home. Come on back home. I was not planning to go here this morning, but apparently this is where he wanted me to go. And I just want you to know, no matter where you are, if you are watching this, come back home. Bring your children, bring your grandchildren, no matter what's happening and what has happened in your life. You know, we got to get out of all of the past, the lies that the enemy has told us about the things that we've experienced in our life and about our personalities. And I'm going to be doing another video about that because I've gotten some revelation about some stuff. Oh God, I want you to know that a lot of the things that you thought was you, and that's just how you are, it was a lie. It's a lie. That there's a whole system that's working against you. And it has been strategized from the time that you were born, and some of us before we were born. So some of the stuff that we carry, some of the stuff we deal with are not even ours. Some of us, we're dealing with granddaddy's demons and grandmama's issues and all of that kind of stuff. And we've come into the place where we've just accepted it. And many of us are not traveling by ourselves. We think it's just our personality. But I'm here to tell you, it ain't. And when you realize who you really are, and you start to walk in who you are, and you accept what God says about you, I'm telling you right now, it's going to be a lot of evictions happening. And they're not going to be happening outside of us. They're going to be happening within us. When we start realizing who we are, we're going to start kicking some stuff out that has been hiding in places that we've allowed, and many of us by ignorance, simply because we didn't know. The word says that my people, God is talking about his people, perish for lack of knowledge, something that we didn't know. So again, that's a whole other issue. But what I want to tell you today is get into that place, that secret place where God can talk to you. Seek his presence, not his presence, not what he can give you, but what he can impart to you. That place where you can bear naked before him, where you can come to him with whatever, how ugly, whatever it is. If you're mad at him, he can handle it. If you got an issue with him, talk to him about it. He just wants you to come. It don't matter how you come, just come. He can deal with all that other stuff later. He ain't like man, where you got to go through all of these protocols and all of these different kind of things. And if it ain't up to their standards, then, you got to wait. No, that ain't God. He already knows where you are and who you are. And he knows all of that. He just wants you to come. We're in an hour where the enemy is so deceptive. And he has studied us, y'all. He has studied us. He knows all of those things that can shake us up, that can knock us off our block. He knows. There's a whole system of demonic activity. And they work. The one thing that they do, they work together. They work together. As evil as they are, the thing that they know to do is they work together. And so we've got to be on it when it comes to the relationship that we have with the Father, because when we have a relationship with him, he can impart things to us that we wouldn't have known if we hadn't come into his presence. There are some things, it's not that God doesn't want us to know things, he does. But he wants us to seek him for it. And when we seek him, he said, you will find me. When you ask me, I'm going to answer. And when you knock, I'm going to open that door. But we have a responsibility. We got to want it, y'all. He don't have grandkids. He don't have grandkids. He only has children. And God loves his children. So with that being said, you all have a blessed Sunday. Have a wonderful day. Seek the Father. If you have a local church, go to it. Go to it.